the malicious grandmother, was planning to send her granddaughter to a mental institution. Originally, Mira and her father were happily working on a project, when the secretary rushed in a panic, saying that the supplier had stopped providing the paint they needed. The father was shocked. The company was facing an unprecedented crisis. The remaining materials were only enough to cover half the orders. The father made numerous calls but with no success. The company was at risk of bankruptcy. When the grandmother found out about the company's situation, she also received a call from Korea's wealthiest businessman, Chairman Moon. Chairman Moon, wanting to kill two birds with one stone, had also cut off the cosmetics company's funding, and deliberately let the grandmother know that only he could help them out of the crisis. With no other options, the grandmother decided to visit Chairman Moon personally. Chairman Moon hinted to the grandmother that only if the two families formed an alliance through marriage, he would help. With no other choice, the grandmother arranged for Mira to meet Chairman Moon's son. This was actually a scheme by Chairman Moon. He wanted to monopolize the cosmetics company and use marriage to achieve his plan. It was well known that the chairman's son was a playboy, but for the sake of the company, Mira agreed to go for dinner with him. When Mira saw this annoying playboy, she couldn't even eat. She stood up, ready to leave, but was stopped by the driver, Boon Hee. Here, the male lead makes his appearance. Boon Hee turned out to be Amy's lover before she went missing, living an ordinary life, but he was caught up in this high-society marriage. However, Mira insisted on leaving. Suddenly, Carter threw a plate toward the door. The plate's shards cut Myra's face. He was so scared that he froze. Then he placed a necklace, symbolizing the daughter-in-law of the conglomerate, around Myra's neck. It was then that Mira learned her marriage had been arranged, and that she was now set to marry Chairman Moon's son. Mira did not want her life to be controlled by others, and she didn't want to marry such a playboy. After returning home, she angrily went to her grandmother's room. All the accumulated grievances erupted. In Myra's deep questioning, the grandmother threw a glass of water in her face. Whether you like it or not, you must marry the chairman's son. Mira firmly said she would never marry him. The next second, 4 men in raincoats entered. They dragged Mira out of the villa. Mira struggled desperately in the heavy rain. To punish the disobedient Mira, the grandmother sent her to the mental hospital. Mira found herself in a dark little room again. Remembering the suffering she endured as a child, she was determined to escape the mental hospital. She couldn't fall here, so she asked the nurse to call her grandmother. Mira knelt and apologized to her grandmother, and agreed to marry the chairman's son. Thus, the grandmother agreed, and took her to visit Chairman Moon's house. Back home, Chairman Moon transferred investment funds to the cosmetics company. Mira had to bear such great pain. How much pain Mira has to bear? This happened on the first day she married into a wealthy family. Carter put his left arm around Mira, and his other hand was holding another woman. Will Mira be able to secure a place for herself in this family feud?